everybody, and welcome back to the pre-production meeting. I am your co-host, Josh Urquhart, and I am here with...
Austin Scott.
Austin Scott, baby, let's go. Welcome to episode 4, everybody. It's been a week since we've released the first 3 episodes. Hopefully you guys like that good chunk of content to get your juices flowing in the film industry. Austin, how's your week been? What's the feedback you've got from people? How are you feeling?
Look, after we did the 3 episodes last week, like I remember driving home and going like, fuck, that was so much fun. And even just doing back to back, which you'll all notice that we've changed clothes today. We're not in the same clothes as episodes 1, 2, and 3.
We do shower, I swear.
But yeah, it was honestly, I was like, that was so much fun, and I can't wait for it all to come out. And then seeing it come out and just stuff we've produced is out there for people to consume, and like physically seeing something exist that you've created is so rewarding. And then the feedback that we've both gotten it's really uplifting. The people that have reached out to us to say that, you know, you've inspired me to do this and that and all that kind of stuff. It makes you feel really good, which is, this week has been a really good week. Yeah. And since that, it's just, I love the feeling. I
think it's awesome. I think we've hit our target audiences, which is the people in the film industry, which are really interested to, you know, see what part of the journey we're up to, people that we've gone to uni with and stuff like that, and the people outside of the film industry who are like, I don't give a shit about the film industry, but this is interesting.
Exactly right.
I think that's awesome, and I think we've hit the nail on the coffin. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure, nail on the head, nail on the coffin.
We invent shit in here. We invent shit.
We do. But I think, honestly, it went really well. We're still getting our bearings about it. Like you guys will see, we'll be much more much more active on social media this week.
Absolutely.
We're just trying to get all of our shit together, designate who's doing what and stuff like that. And hopefully it'll all come together and be much more smooth and operating, you know, as time goes on. But 100%. I think we smashed it with those first 3 episodes. We got a good chunk of content, and, you know, we've been speaking throughout this week how excited we are to get here and do this today.
Even for like not only everybody else that's sent us the nice message and everything like that, but I feel like you and I, we've had the spark just reignite. Like I've this week I've done so much work on my film
Swirling
Vortex, and I just look at it and I go like, fuck, I did that. Like and it just feels like, and I was saying to Josh and some of that, he actually had to dial me back a bit because I was like, oh, let's do this. He's like, Austin, chill.
Relax.
Like, just do this stuff first.
That's
and then I was like, and then I was like, oh, okay. I'm addicted to seeing the progress.
Dude, it's amazing.
Once you take off and it's just nonstop, it's addictive.
That was like me yesterday. I mean, I've been crook, if you can't tell by my voice. I'm just getting over sickness, which is crazy. I've been sick 3 times in the last 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. But I was like, I don't have time to be sick. I felt to come on at work, and I'm like, don't you dare. We got this podcast that we got to do, you know, got stuff doing tomorrow. But yesterday, I had everything planned. I was going to do so much work, and I did. I did it. I was crook, but I still did it. We'll get into the progress of what we both did, but it was so good. I felt so accomplished. It's like finally I feel good in myself, like I'm not wasting my days.
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
I'm inspired, bro. That fire.
Yep.
Got it back.
It's so good.
It's unlike, did we just touch feet?
We did, sorry.
Playing tootsies already, all right. Austin,
Jesus.
It's only 10:30. No. What the fuck is happening?
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was just good to see some shit getting done, and, you know, feeling confident about my project and getting excited
100%.
about it, and like it's gonna be. You know what? You know, last week I was talking about how it's a bit of pressure when people ask when's the next film coming out.
Yeah.
Had people ask this week, and I'm like, I can bloody tell you.
Yeah,
Did not feel that pressure. I felt excitement.
Yep.
And I think that's what this podcast has done, man.
Yeah, 100%. Applause to the both of us.
Happy days. Well, before we get into it, I just wanted to touch on something real quick that happened during the week. The Black Panther trailer. Now, I just wanted to mention this. I know this podcast is basically based around our progress and our films, but I think we have to talk about this a little bit.
Absolutely.
That trailer, every time I watch it, I tear up.
Goosebumps. I get choked up as well.
It is I would say it's the best trailer I've ever seen. The emotion, I didn't think you can feel emotion from a trailer.
No, me either.
Like, sure, man, we've cried in some films and stuff like that, but in a trailer, I was in tears.
I think the last time I'd like felt this kind of like excitement, emotion, all that kind of stuff with a trailer was probably Infinity War, just because of how much the MCU means to me, and just seeing the culmination of everything, and then like how sort of like you had just the music they did to that trailer and all that kind of stuff, and given how much Black Panther means to a lot of people,
and the niche, the culture.
Just the thought of seeing the comparing between the announcement of Black Panther at Comic-Con to Black Panther Wakanda Forever at Comic-Con this year. Did you see it?
I did. I watched all the panels and everything, man.
Seeing that, and you just feel how much it means to these people. It is awesome.
Not only to the audience,
by people, I mean
crew,
everybody involved. In the
exactly. The crew and cast. Oh, bro, I've got goosebumps. It's like those emotions that you see in that trailer, mate. That is an acting.
Oh, yeah.
You know, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I remember when he passed away, I was mid-soccer match last year.
Could not believe it.
Half time, check my phone. I was shook.
Yep, same.
It was just crazy, you know. I've not been through that much hard stuff in my life in terms of death, thank God, so far. But that hit me, man.
It did. It hit me as well. I remember thinking it was fake. Someone sent it to me and they're like, "Oh, bro, Chadwick Boseman's died today." I was like, "Bro, you've fallen for it. Like, it's a trap. It's fake. It's fake." Like, I refused to believe it.
Exactly.
And then,
that trailer, there are some trailers that you can re-watch, and I know you're a big trailer connoisseur yourself.
Yes, sir.
Especially the Godzilla
King of Monsters
trailer. One of the best trailers we've ever seen as well.
Wow.
But this trailer, it was so emotional, and it looks amazing, man.
Oh, yeah.
They've stepped it up.
Even the obviously it's a T'Challa mural on the wall there, but you've seen Chadwick Boseman's face and you just honestly, it hits you. It just honestly, I've watched it countless times, and each time I get goosebumps, choked up, just because, you can see how much it means and just how much of an impact he left, how much of a legacy he's left.
It was, I don't even know what to say.
Speechless. The trailers left us speechless.
Yeah, it was just, you can. I know it's going to sound cheesy. You can feel Chadwick Boseman's presence in that movie, man.
Yeah, 100%.
This is for him, and I reckon they're going to smash it out of the park. It's my most anticipated film of 2022 by far. By far, yeah. Speaking 100%. About movies in 2022, we both saw a film last week. Ooh, differing views, but take it away, because I know you're a big fan of this one.
Okay, so I just wanted to check. Can everybody hear me as well? Because the microphone's positioned real good this week. I've made sure that we don't have any sound issues and stuff like that. But I want you guys to hear my thoughts on The Grey Man, starring Ryan Gosling, Ana de Armas, and Chris Evans. I almost forgot his name right then. That was tragic. But there's been 2 times this year I've watched a movie and afterwards have been in an incredibly good mood, and that's with Top Gun and The Grey Man. I don't know how to explain the feeling, and I hope people have felt this as well, so they can understand what I'm talking about. But I was just in such a good mood after, because everything that film did, bar a few unnecessary first-person drone shots,
don't get me started.
It hit every note that I look for in a film. Just the characters bouncing one-liners off each other. The action was non-stop, and as this podcast goes on, you'll see that I'm a massive action fanatic. And just how well the Russo brothers have made their films. That I've loved everything the Russo brothers have put out so far, post Marvel stuff. Stop shaking your head, you dick. This is this is the 3rd film they've put out since opening up their production company, and I've loved all 3. Why don't you take the floor, buddy? Go on. What are you going to say?
I didn't. I liked it. I liked the last third of it. I thought that was awesome. I loved the fighting, the action, the last third, and how they wrapped it up was very good.
Right.
But fuck. man, anybody could have written it better than that. Like the dialogue, just so shit.
Well, I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say about that because last week you were given, I forget their names, but
no. They told you how to structure it. They didn't tell you how to write dialogue.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because I was like, but you're giving these guys a mad rap.
You can structure a film, but fuck me. They should. It just made Gosling. I was about to say Ryan Reynolds. Who else was in it? Gosling, Ana de Armas, and Chris Evans. They made them fucking sound. It was just, mate, it was child's play. Anyway, so what? But the actor was pretty cool. Ana de Armas was pretty cool.
For the utmost time in that film, I was trying to figure out who the agent was.
It's the dude from Bridgerton.
No, not him. Yeah, him. I knew he was from Bridgerton because when Beth was watching with me for the time, she did.
The lady?
Like, that dude's from the lady.
From Iron Fist.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, why can I not? And I started
Jennifer Henwick?
Jennifer Henwick, yeah. Yeah?
Oh, God.
Jack. Jessica Henwick.
Jessica Henwick, yeah.
And God, I was like, I've seen her somewhere before. And then I started to think it was the lady from Gangs of London. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, Russo Brothers, Gangs of London. I kind of just associated the two. And then I was like, why can I not?
Russo Brothers are consistent.
Oh, yes,
consistently mid.
No. I think their only different film that they've done, well, obviously they've done Extraction.
No, they produced that. They didn't direct it.
One of them wrote it.
Oh, wrote it
based on the book and all that kind of stuff. And then they did Cherry and the Grey. Shut up. And the Grey Man. So
they're consistent.
I think the only different one is Cherry compared to Extraction and the
They
Grey
tried.
Man.
I'll give them that. They tried with Cherry.
They succeeded. They succeeded with it all. But we're not talking about Cherry. We're talking about the Grey Man. But the Grey Man was honestly phenomenal. I loved every minute of it. I didn't want it to end, to be entirely honest. Like once I realized it was sort of getting towards the end, I was like, no, I just need more. Please give me more kind of thing. Just because I was I was in love with the movie.
I knew straight away you were going to love it.
Oh my God. I would have killed for a cinematic experience though.
The sequel's been greenlit already. And a spin-off as well.
Good.
So
good.
Yeah, that's what I see all of them in cinemas, even if they're coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you watching this? It's coming out on Netflix tomorrow, bro. The only real way to watch a film is in the cinemas.
Yep. I agree.
But I'll tell you what, I watched a movie that was much better. No offense. I liked it. Whatever. I watched Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yes.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Yes.
Oh, Daisy Edgar Jones.
I've only seen her in Fresh.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Please elaborate.
Wow, her acting. No. She's
picking up on some body
It
language
actually
here.
was weird. Like she's
good.
Man.
She's
she
really
carried
great.
that film.
Yeah.
That was it. I haven't been drawn into a film that much in a while. Like usually I'm sitting there thinking about what I'm going to rate it, what I'm going to critique it.
Yeah.
But that I was drawn into the story. Holy shit. I usually have a rule. After 10 o'clock, don't watch a movie. Otherwise you fall asleep. Well, that's my rule because I fall asleep after 10 o'clock while watching a movie. But I went to the movies, saw this at 9:30 and fuck me, it felt long. But it was only like 2 hours, which is normal around these days. Yep. But fuck, it was so good, man. I really recommend it's a murder, mystery, romance kind of thing and Daisy Edgar Jones.
I've seen it advertised for ages, and I'm like, oh, it's just one of those films that hasn't really grabbed me and all that kind of stuff. But
fair enough.
Like,
that trailer was good. It's got that Taylor T. Swizzle song.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't know that, but now I do. But and then I was like, it'll probably just be like a trip to the movies to watch a movie for the sake of going to the movies.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Hearing your Raven review, I might have to go seek it out. So.
Yeah. But anyways, that's good. We'll call that little segment, that's a wrap.
Okay, done.
To start off with. Now, the juicy part of the pod, the progress, baby. Now, I know you have a lot to go, so, mate, I can see it just bursting out.
I was going to say you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. Because
cool.
I've got it, as you said, it's sort of, I need to sort of compose myself just to sort of...
Of course. Well, this week, I'm actually proud of myself, right? The book that I'm adapting has about 30 chapters, and I had done, I think, like 3 chapter breakdowns, because what I'm doing at the moment, right, for adapting this book, this is just the way I'm doing it. I'm going through, so it's a proof of concept of 1 chapter of that book, right? And what I'm doing first is going through the chapters, chapter by chapter, and breaking them down with story beats, analysis, breakdown, and then films for that film ideas for that chapter, how I'm going to craft it.
Okay.
And my plan is to do that for the whole book. So when I come back to that chapter that I'm adapting, I have I've already read the book, but it's fresh in my mind, the story, the plot, where things are heading. So when I create that proof of concept film, I have everything in my head. Right. I can be sensitive to the rest of the book, where it's going, and, add little seeds into teas and stuff like that.
Absolutely,
What I've done this week, it takes me a while, but I did 4 chapter breakdowns this week. Yes.
And just to compare, where were you at last week with that compared to chapter breakdowns?
I've done 0 for the last couple of months,
there you
man.
go.
So I'm very happy. And you know what? I reread the chapter that I'm breaking down yesterday and just, it is bloody good. And I'm so excited, man. I've just literally, I have ideas. I'm just writing down how this shot's I'm already thinking about the shots just for that chapter. But it's really, really exciting. And you know what? So this is what I was thinking last week. I'm like, how am I going to... Because the book is based London and Egypt. And Egypt is the exciting bit, but Egypt doesn't turn up in the chapter that I'm adapting. So I'm like, how am I going to have both locations or tease the whole film in this one little short film? So I'm like, I have my chapter set in London, right? The chapter's based around a little Victorian era ball kind of thing. But I'm thinking... What if I get a little teaser for Egypt at the very start of the film? Maybe they can start in Egypt, which is maybe a little snippet from the end of the book, right? Maybe they're running away or a chase or something I don't know. I haven't read it for a while. And then flash back to the scene that I'm doing, kind of like a how did I get here kind of thing, but not do it in the cliche way where the character looks at the screen. Hi, I'm so-and-so, and you want to know how I got here? Well, this is what happened.
Record scratch.
Yeah, not like that, but kind of give them a little tease so you can get a bit of London, a bit of Egypt, and a bit of the whole story, man, and it's just really exciting. And, what I'm thinking of now doing is I'm fully going to adapt the chapter, but give little teasers from a couple chapters. I don't know. It's probably not making sense, but it makes sense in my head.
Yep. No, absolutely it does. It does make sense. And you should be really proud of yourself for the work you've put in.
I appreciate that.
All good.
And it's really cool. I'm liking how I'm doing it. But so this is, I've never adapted a book before.
Yeah.
I've never adapted, sorry, I already said that. I've never adapted a book before, and this is my first time. This is the challenge I want to do. I've searched up how people do it in the past, but I've taken my own kind of way about it. And like I said, I'm just doing, if people want to adapt books my way, this is how I'm doing it, right? You get the chapter, you get the story beats, right? A story beat is basically, oh God, how do you explain a story beat?
It'd just be key things
that happen in the scene, right? And you do that. There's only I don't know, there would be 4 in the whole chapter, right? Yeah. Then I do a breakdown, basically just a summary of the chapter, right? Just a bit of background information, who you're meeting and stuff like that. And then to finish it off, I do key ideas, film-wise. So I think cinematics, how is this going to work? Where can we cut? Because there is so much unneeded shit in a book that you're going to cut out. It's what can I cut out? What can you mix? What can you merge to save money, save time and stuff like that? So that's how I'm doing each chapter by chapter. So then at the end of the book, at the end of the breakdown, I can, number one, adapt my chapter, write a script with all the information that I've got from the rest of the book, including the chapter that I've broken down to adapt, as well as have a basic skeleton of the feature film. Right. So then if people ask me, where's this heading, I can tell them.
Yeah, 100%.
And then whilst this is in post-production, I can possibly get started on the feature, and I would have already broken down the whole book, so I would just have to go ahead and write.
Exactly right.
And that's basically that is what I've done. I mean, I did that for my film this week. I was doing all the social media posts for the podcast, of course. What else? Oh, I had my to-do list here. I sorted all the stuff for your film. So I sorted the Google Drive, added all the templates and contracts and stuff like that. I got your script and I annotated it, which we'll go through after you tell us what you did.
Absolutely.
And that's basically it. I'm very happy and I'm on that train. We're not doing that again.
I was hoping to do it again.
We got the steam train rolling.
That was such a different sound.
Don't know what the fuck that was.
I don't know what train that is.
But that's all I've got. It's not going to be massively entertaining until I get to the writing part of it. So it's probably going to be me doing the chapter breakdowns for a couple weeks until I finish it. But then we'll get into the juicy stuff. But mate, I know you have done a lot. So fill me in, brother. What have you done?
Just to jump off the back of your energy there, like it's electrifying and so rewarding to like just know that you've put this effort in.
Yep.
And
thank you.
Yeah, you should be very proud of yourself, man.
Thank you, my friend.
Mate, that's all good.
What have you been up to?
So with Swirling Vortex, when I was in my little hiatus of not doing any work, Josh sent me a checklist, as you guys are aware in the previous episodes. And that consisted of logline, synopsis, beat sheet, scene breakdown, scene analysis, mood boards with locations, set dressing, character, personality, inspirations, all that kind of fun stuff, character breakdowns, a one-page outline, treatment, storyboard, and director's statement. This time last week when we came in, I'd only done the logline and synopsis, but this week I've done the beat sheet. I've done one of the 2 character breakdowns.
Amazing.
One-page outline.
Yep.
The director's statement.
Yep.
I do have storyboards and
I saw them.
Photos and stuff like that for shots that I want done in the film.
Could we give a little sneak peek? If you send me one, I can put it up on the edit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was going to suggest after this podcast, Josh and I are going back and we're going to just work. Like that's what we're going to do.
Smash it out.
Smash some of the work out.
Mate, what is happening?
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'll post one of the shots that is like, you know how there's like a shot that is like crucial to the story essentially, and one that you just have in your mind, you're like, that has to be in there. This is the one shot that I want above like all in the film.
So how are you doing these storyboards to start off with?
I've got 2 little Captain America pop vinyls.
So you're taking photos?
And I'm taking photos just with my phone, not with the camera here, stuff like that. I just wanted to dial it back, go simple, just use what I've got really. And
fuck drawing.
Yeah, don't worry about drawing. And just pre-visualize like what it's going to look like and everything like that. And then like as you see it and like just the way that I've put some shots in and that kind of stuff, it just looks cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't wait to see. It
does.
Yeah. And then when you take the photo and then you're taking it with what you got and then you imagine what it's going to look like when it's actually done, it just ignites you and you just get so excited. So when I was seeing it, I was like, fuck, this is hectic. And then I was getting it on there and then I've organised a couple of folders on the Google Drive to which then Josh has gone above and beyond and sorted out so much stuff on there, which is, I'm like, fuck, when these get filled up, right, it's
I
non-stop.
had a good time. I was going through, because I've co-produced, I've basically produced. I was going through adding templates for contracts, location releases, actors releases, COVID forms, like all this like boring shit that it would be to people. But fuck, it looks cool. It's all in one place.
Exactly.
I'm ready to go as soon as we're ready to hit off. It was cool. And we did some research on some animators this week as well.
That was another thing. Yes, that was another thing that we both did was research for animators, which was just, I was looking up like how to, not only direct animation, but how like animation's crucial to storytelling, like all that kind of stuff. Just the stuff you find out and the stuff you learn through your research is also the most rewarding part about the whole process. So it's been a really productive week, and that's just I'm going to say it's just week 1.
Week 1, baby.
Do you know how like this season is just going to be so rewarding at the end for everybody involved? Like it's
you are ahead of the curve, my friend.
Thank you.
We're looking at animators and we're looking on Fiverr this week, the freelance services that they provide. And, I think you've got to be careful because some...
Oh, someone just take the piss.
Yeah, some just take the piss and ask for like fucking thousands of dollars. I think price range, we're looking between, to be honest, it's cheaper than I thought. Yeah. I reckon we're looking between $1,000 to $2,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Because, I read the script and I'm like, we could get this done because it's only a 7-page script.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm not an animator by all means. By the way, that's not us farting. That is construction downstairs.
There's a jackhammer going downstairs.
Yeah. But I think they can animate this and it won't be... I reckon you could get this done with the same amount of price that Jay paid for his stars.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking at like, I don't have a certain animation style in mind yet, but some of the character inspiration, I don't know if you saw it in there, but I'd go for that kind of animation just because it looks easy and stuff like that. But the only thing that I'm kind of worried, an animator that we find might go, oh, bang, easy, and does it. Like I'm just worried about the like, I might be completely off here, but like the rigging of the characters and like them actually moving around and all that kind of stuff in the way I want them to. But
what's
I feel
your
like,
style? Are you looking for more 3D or 2D?
well, it's sort of blend of both because
Blend of both. Wow.
one of the things that I have in there, it kind of like mirrors your like Mortal Kombat / Tekken kind of like fight, like that kind of shit. And that's how it's going to start. But then there's like a couple of shots that will need a couple of like sort of 3D things to happen. But apart from that, like they're hoops we're going to jump through like later.
For sure.
But I think for the main part it's just 2D with like a...
I think that will be cheaper as well, to
100%,
be honest.
yeah, absolutely.
How about anime style? You wouldn't be interested in like kind of anime? I don't reckon you should, but I thought I would ask.
Yeah, anyway. It's not really appealing to me.
That's fair enough.
But it's all stuff. Like I said, I don't have a like designated style yet, but these are all things that we can talk about once we get an animator on board.
Awesome. Yeah, so that sounds amazing, what you've done this week. What would you say was your favourite thing to do this week? And what surprised you? Yeah? Taking the photos.
Yeah.
Bro, I did that for Tuesday lesson. I literally, don't bother drawing, man. We're not drawers. Take some photos. We're in this century where technology is everything. Like, we're taking photos. What I did for Tuesday lesson, I literally took every single frame in that movie, and I took photos of my little teddy bears in every single frame, and I filmed that exact shot for shot.
Exactly.
Like, and that's what you're doing.
That was the massive inspiration for me, because when you showed me pre-recording last week, Josh had showed me what he did for Tuesday lesson because, like I said, I was in a hiatus. I wasn't doing anything kind of thing, and I didn't know how to get started. And then when you showed me that, I was like, oh, I've got these 2 Captain America pop vinyls. Like, they're going to be my models that are going to pre-visualize this script. And so just taking photos and all that kind of, because then what you can do is down the line people can storyboard it for you as well. Like they can get your animation sort of storyboard, get the pre-visuals going in that direction. So
the pop vinyls are a good idea. At least they stand up straight, unlike my teddy bears who are falling over straight away. Yeah, Alvin. Fuck me. Alvin! What I wanted to go through with you is I read your script and I annotated it. As you can see, notes everywhere. I'll give you some brief things which I picked up on, and then I'll go through in private the more intricate details.
Yes.
All right. I really liked it to start off with. I think I understand why you got 98 out of 100. I think it's a perfect short film idea, and I can see it winning a lot of awards.
Thank you very much, sir.
So, a couple things, right? I think you need to choose a target audience because you have... The dialogue contrasts sometimes. You got this guy, he's sometimes he's speaking younger, sometimes he's swearing. It's like, I reckon choose a certain age group that you're targeting.
Yep.
Because the script is very, I would say mid-range between, 10 to 18, right?
Yep.
I reckon just close down on your target audience and maybe adjust the dialogue with that, because sometimes he's saying shut up, sometimes he's saying fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that was really good. I reckon the way that he's speaking, I reckon he's younger than 19. Again, you don't have to listen to me.
No,
I reckon
absolutely.
he's younger than 19. And I have an idea for casting Cooper from my film, possibly.
Yeah, right.
I reckon he would fit the bill perfectly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just an idea.
Yep, absolutely.
You have some music and movies that we may have to see about if we need to get I don't know how we're going to get the rights to Gladiator, but I think it should be fine if it's in the background.
Yeah, no.
I think that's the overall thing. Everything else I'll go with you in person, but the overall thing is just basically choosing an audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
A target audience. The rest of the notes are like little intricate, like you can move this here, move that there, cut out some certain things.
Yep.
But yeah, I reckon the main character, is younger than 19 due to how you wrote it. And I reckon you should choose a target audience and hone in on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, that's duly noted. Yeah, when I wrote it, it was kind of like I don't know, because, and based off some of the characters that I've put in there, Ryan Gosling's Grey Man was like perfect for me because that was like kind of, I don't know, like my dream character essentially. And not saying I based it off him, but seeing him in the Grey Man compared to what I've written here, I was like, that's kind of like what I had in mind, but essentially didn't know how to execute that, if that makes sense. But I think definitely picking a target audience might answer that for me, and just shuffling a couple of things around.
I think it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think like I said on previous episode, like I hold this quite close to the chest, pretty high up on the podium as well.
I can see it almost being like I can see, it's weird. When I think of this, I can see it almost on, I don't know why, but like on mainstream television. Like I can see it playing before like a program, even though that's probably never happened in the history of this. I can just see it. It's just got that feel, that youth, which is why I said target audience. It's just fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yes,
I love it.
That was the main thing, is like I just wanted it to be
simple,
fun.
Simple.
Simple, fun, a good time, and something that hopefully a couple of the jokes land. Hopefully, like there's a couple of laughs.
I was laughing when I was reading it.
Yeah,
it was
good.
Very
I'm
good.
glad. Which is what I was aiming for. Just like a bit of a laugh, good time, fun,
Amazing.
Get out kind of thing.
Good stuff, my man.
So,
we'll talk about that when we're back at home.
Awesome.
What's the time? What are we on?
We are on 32 minutes.
All right, cool.
Just gone 33.
Awesome. So we thought for this last little section of the podcast, we can talk about a certain topic to do with film. So this is how we're kind of going to structure it each week. We have that's a wrap to start off with the podcast. We have our progress, and then we have a topic about the film industry.
Yep.
Now, we talked a lot last week about sets and how important it is to be on sets and how you can actually just be in the film industry and learn the film industry by being on sets instead of film school. I thought it would be funny this week to go through set culture, what happens on set, and set experiences.
Yes.
So I reckon it would be funny to start off with a set experience from both of us. Now, I know you had one. Mine's not really on set, it's before set.
Yeah.
But you go first.
So both of us were working on a film called A Permanent Kind of Love. Remember when we were on Lily's film for film school?
Which I still haven't seen.
Yeah, no, me either. But,
Lily, if you're listening or watching this, come on, we want to see it.
But I remember there was, I can't tell you the context of the shot, but Lachlan Miller was the clapper.
Okay.
And when he marked the shot and then he had to get out of frame, they were shooting some like meaningful scene, something like that. I think it was when he catches her for the first time or something like, and it's like that dreamy shot where the air's going through her hair and everything like that. And he's sort of like walking towards her in like a dreamlike state and everything like that. But the funny thing was the way that the camera was positioned. So it was like a close up of his face. Good save. It was a close-up of his face, and then when he walked off camera, just thinking about it made me laugh, and I was like, I'm definitely bringing this to the podcast. And Lockie will remember it. Is like, Lockie was his eye line, and he's got this like deep look on his face, and then he's walking towards Lockie, and Lockie's just like...
oh my God, and we all had to hold in our laughter. Oh my God,
and he's walking towards, and even he's going like...
because the mics will pick up everything.
And Lockie actually had to go like...
Yeah.
And all of us are just going like...
Yeah. It just sets me off and then it's one of those laughter trains. Sets you off, sets me off, sets Jay off, sets Valley off. And we're all just like, oh, fuck, oh, shit.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever experienced. That I can remember Lockie saying vividly he was like this and then...
Mate, there was was it on the same set or was it on Fetty's set? It was something to do with Will Tawney. His improvisations just cracked you up. No, I think it was on Fetty's Broken Record set.
Yeah,
where he's just the king of improvisation. He's TikTok famous now.
Yeah,
crazy man.
I've actually sat through his TikToks, bro. They are hilarious.
But he was oh God, it was some line, and he just comes out with the craziest shit that you can't even imagine. And everybody, as soon as the director calls cut, everybody bursts out laughing. I just fuck.
Let me tell you, every one of his one-liners was fun to muck around with in post. Let me tell you, that was great.
When in Broken Record as well, when they were doing, so this film was set in a what was it, a vinyl store,
like a jazz record store,
and one of the crew members, Ryan, right? He was an extra. Do you remember this? And was it Will? Will decided. So Ryan thought he was just being an extra, and his job was to walk into the vinyl store and look through the vinyls. And then Will decides he's going to talk to him as part of the scene. And he's like, "Oh, how you going, mate?" And Ryan's caught off guard, and he's having to improvise back. And he's like, "What the fuck?" That was.
I wish I still had that. I'm pretty sure Fetty's got that on a hard drive somewhere.
That was
it
in the film.
Holy shit, that was funny.
He was like, he's caught off guard, not knowing who's gonna speak. Wow. Will being Will is just talking to him.
Yeah.
Bro, I know this probably doesn't say that funny to you guys, but fuck, it was so funny during when it actually
the reason why it was so funny is because the camera's rolling and you all have to shut up. Like, you can't burst out laughing. So that's I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're not allowed to laugh, which makes laughing even like riskier. And then when you do laugh, it's just the best feeling ever.
It's the whole day of just silence, man. It's going to get to you.
And then also on that same set, I remember we had Video Village in that tight little alleyway in the back.
Yeah.
And so
what is Video Village?
Video Village is just where the director will sit with the biggest screen where what the camera's shooting, and the camera will broadcast that to the screen that you're all watching so the director can direct, essentially. So, Josh, Fetty and I are sitting at Video Village, and it was this tight little thing, and like people didn't realize that like just the slightest footstep, the slightest cough, the slightest laugh or anything like that, the mics are that sensitive that when that happened, I remember we were sitting there and Fetty's like, "Guys, come on!" Just starts going off at everyone. We're like, whoa.
There were a couple times, because I've AD'd, assistant directed on all of these films basically, where I've just had to tell people to shut the fuck up. Yeah. Because it does get annoying after a while, and I have to be the boss on set, and I have to be grumpy and be like, everybody shut the fuck up.
Well, you don't realise how thin walls are, especially on a set. Like the slightest noise can be picked up from so far away. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Fuck. Fucking these funny shit. And then I'll tell you about my experience, right?
Yes,
this was before set. So this was the audition process. I know this goes against really the whole story of it, but this is when we were auditioning for A Permanent Kind of Love, so the Lily's film, and I was AD and they let me sit on the audition process, right? I don't know if I've told you this, but we had to audition for the main chick who was the tattoo artist, and the audition, the script that the lead actress had to read, I don't know if it was from the script or from another movie, but it was very flirty. And I was with Lily and Lauren, who were the producers and directors, and I was the only dude in there. So this wacko came into audition.
Oh, so not the chick that got the role?
No, this wacko came in. Bruh, seriously, she was like late 30s mother.
Oh, no.
And I'm sitting there like, hey, nice to meet you, whatever. She gets going and she looks at me straight in the eyes.
Holy shit, I felt that.
And comes over to me and starts literally groping me mid-audition. She's reading her script and going, hey, baby boy, like stroking my arm. And I'm like, do you want this role? What? Get away from me, woman.
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
Get away. What are you doing?
I would have just been like, hey, no.
None of that. And Lily and Laura were like, they're just there while this chick is literally on top of me. And I'm like, what is she doing? I just had to be, I was doing the, but more like, I'm fearing for my life right now. What is she going to do? Like bite me next? Like fucking Mike Tyson me? I'm like, this is crazy. And then she left the room and it was like oh my God.
Those ones where you're like, yeah, we'll call you.
Yeah, we'll call you. Block your number. You are never hearing from me again. Oh man, that
Holy
was
Jesus.
traumatizing.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Mate, thank God she didn't get the role.
Can we talk about audition things just real quick? You
Yeah.
remember Remnant?
Yeah.
You thought you had me?
Oh.
You never even had your car.
Bro, auditioning, I think auditioning is one of the best parts of the whole process.
Oh, absolutely. Just from hearing what you guys have gone through in the auditions, oh my days.
What about in my last film, we had to audition for the grandpa, and all the grandpa does in the film is basically lie there. Do you remember this?
No, but I'm
The grandpa or just lies there, and he's had a stroke, so he has to I'm not going to do the face, but he has to lie there with like a stroked face. Anyways, the auditions we got for that part were just old men sending in, aged men sending in videos of them on a bed. Literally, there was one guy, and he didn't get the role, thank God, but he literally was on a bed. I don't know what this face is. He goes cross-eyed and just pokes his tongue out, and he's making this weird noise. He's like throughout for 5 minutes straight. He doesn't say anything. He's just
oh Jesus.
And I'm like, wow.
We've got this to look forward to with these two films. Just
mate.
The thing is though, and like all the best to those people. I hope they land roles in the future and everything like that. All the
except the girl that groped me. That was no thanks.
But yeah, you just get different likes of people
from
all over.
all walks of life.
Yeah, 100%. But and that's the best thing. Like you just see different people and just who they are. It's fucking amazing.
Who they are and who they aren't when they're auditioning. But fuck man. But yeah, I think we can go into set more like what a set. You know what? Before we'll go like what does a set day consist of basically?
Early start.
Very early start.
The setup for the shot takes longer than it actually the shot. You could set up for 2 hours for a 30-second shot.
Mate, you're literally on set. People think, yeah, my brother was talking to me about it. Like, oh, set's so cool. You get to hang out with a lot of people and you're always acting. And I'm like, I'll stop you right there. Yeah. You're sitting around for 85% of the time waiting for the shot to line up.
Yep.
The person that's doing the most is the cinematographer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just setting up the shot the whole day. And you're not really... You're sitting around. It is boring as batshit if you're going to watch a set. When you're in a note and you're doing your job, you're always on your feet. So
I think the two most busiest people on the set, apart from director, are the cinematographer and AD.
Yes.
Because the AD is just running around like a headless chook going like, we've got this much time. We've got this. Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, you just go take a bite out of your food or something. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? Get there. Like it's just full on. And, but then when you nail the shot, everybody just goes, all right, we're locked in, let's do it.
Were you on the To The Lesson set?
Briefly.
For the magic store, we were doing a one shot where we had to do it all in one, and we rehearsed that for for days beforehand. And it took us 7 goes, and it was a very tight space, and it was just like a long shot, no cuts, whatever, rehearsed, people walking past at certain times, and we're all amateurs, we've never done it before. But when we completed it, everybody was clapping. It was just amazing, the set kind of atmosphere. What I reckon we should go through, what's a role that you've been on set, and run us through what they do in the day instead of going through because each day is different depending on what role you do.
100%.
Real quick, yeah.
I think my most hands-on has been data wrangler continuity kind of thing. And
not many people know about continuity.
Yeah, so essentially continuity is like if you are obviously when you stitch two shots together, you have to make sure that if there's a different angle and all that kind of stuff, you have to make sure that things were in place that were in place in the previous shot. That's just essentially, and you're maintaining the feel of flow of continuity throughout the entire film. So because the director's kind of just focusing on directing the actors and putting the camera in the spot and all that kind of stuff, and then talking to his crew and everything like that, getting things done and stuff like that. And they'll manage continuity to a degree, but you need an extra set of eyes to do that. And you're also marking stuff down on the script as well.
Like, for example, if Game of Thrones had a good continuity department, that coffee cup would not be there.
Exactly right. So that's a prime example. The Starbucks coffee cup in Game of Thrones. If they drop the ball, something might not be able to get used in post-production. So that's continuity as well.
It's basically just making sure everything's the same throughout the shots, because you're usually filming out of order. You're rarely filming in the order of the script.
Yeah, 100%.
So you got to make sure if this person's wearing a shirt on this scene and you come back to it a couple of days later, they're wearing the same shirt.
Exactly right. So that's continuity in a nutshell. And then data wrangling is just like when you film enough stuff on the camera and the memory card can't take anymore, you put it into an adapter, put it into your hard drive, and you just let it go throughout the day.
When Jay comes on, we'll get his experiences as the data wrangler.
Yes, I was going to say, Jay's been through the ringer.
Just see him sprinting across the oval. Anyways, we will tell that story.
And even I've experienced a little bit of that. They were on broken record, put it on a table, and just the slightest nudge knocks the adapter out of place, and then it's like, you got to start all over again. And there's no plug it in, transferred. It takes hours. So when someone bumps it when you're like 58 minutes into an hour download and it's got to start again, you're like, oh my God, it's frustrating. But Josh, run us through what you've been.
I've been director and AD. I think director, you would understand what a director does throughout this process from me and Austin. So what I'll talk about is assistant director. So the assistant director's job basically is the boss on set. It goes in the hierarchy of authority on set: producer, AD, if the producer's there, AD, director.
Yep.
AD is the boss on set to make sure everything runs on time. The AD is in charge of the schedules beforehand, the call sheets, what time everybody, or sometimes the producer does those. They're in charge of what time, just timing in general, making sure everything gets done in the time frame that is set out, because, baby, time in the movie industry is money.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, especially on amateur films, you want to get that kind of experience. So when you are working with these $1 million equipment, and it's time-based, then you're not going over. But that's what an AD does, time-based, making sure on set, everybody's on set on time. They only have this much time to get that shot before we move on to the next shot. What shot are we doing next? We have to, beforehand, schedule the whole day what shots we're doing between 12 and 1 o'clock, for the whole time there. And then when we get on set, we're making sure everybody abides by those rules, basically.
Exactly,
And we tell people to shut up. We tell people to get off set. We kick them off set if they're not to, if they keep talking and stuff like that. But yeah, I love it. It's hella stressful and a lot of work. And you get on, you clash with people, but I think it's a very hands-on role, and you get to work very close with the directors, which is what I love, like I said before. And you get really close with everybody on set because you're constantly going between departments, and you're that middleman communicating between, the camera department and the sound department, because they can't all talk to each other all at once. So you're that middleman, just making sure everything runs basically on time.
Yeah, exactly right. And you've handled it well.
Thank you, mate.
From the sets I've been on with you as well. So I think we're going to tie a little bow on this episode, eh?
Yeah,
we're about to go 50 minminutes.
Fuck, that was a funny episode.
I hope you all enjoy it. Josh, where can they find us?
The Pre-Prod Pod, Insta, TikTok, the pre-production meeting on YouTube. We're going to be much more active on this social media. I'll probably end up doing the clips, because if we got somebody in the podcast. Oh, I have a couple shout outs to do.
Oh yeah, please.
I want to shout out, number one, our editor, Dylan. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate this. He's doing this out of the kindness of his heart. Shout out, if you guys want to buy a house or sell a house, Murdoch Lee Real Estate Agents, Ryan Bolgoff, he's your man to go to. I had to say that. Shout out to the In Sync podcast girls who actually inspired this idea. I was listening to their podcast when I came up with this idea to do this, and I think, if I wasn't listening to that, I wouldn't have come up with this idea. So shout out to them. Shout out to all the listeners as well, everybody that's given us feedback throughout the week. Yeah. And what really helps if you guys rate the podcast on Spotify, because then it gets recommended and shown to many people as possible. And, we want to inspire more people. We want to keep people motivated. That's what we're doing here. But yeah, the pre-prod pod on all those TikTok, Insta, and then, YouTube, hit it up,
Absolutely. I'd like to extend that shout out to all the people that have messaged me as well.
Yep.
Your words mean a lot more than you guys realize. So please, if you guys want to give me your opinion on the podcast or anything we've spoken about, any of the movies and trailers we spoke about before, please check them out.
Yes.
Let us know what you think as well. This pod is a welcome space. It's a safe space. So please.
Hopefully we'll have a guest on next week. I don't know, we'll try.
We'll
try.
We've got some pretty exciting things coming up.
Yeah,
so,
we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Stay tuned. And on that note, we're out of here.
Peace out.
Catch you later.